very hard having Josh as a master of ceremonies because he's by far the most interesting speaker. It's very hard to it's hard to follow him. Sorry. I'm very thankful to be able to be here tonight. I'm very thankful for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, I've spent my week in the more temperate climates, Toronto, Chicago, Pittsburgh. So the ability to come down tonight was certainly an extremely good reason just in and of itself. I'm very thankful to be here tonight because my relationship with the Lang family, which goes back 10 years, where they were willing to take a risk, I guess, with send their son to a new yeshiva. And I've stayed by them for many, many years and developed a relationship with them which goes beyond Noach in the yeshiva. I'm very glad to be able to join them tonight in the Simcha. I also am very glad to look around the room and see numerous Talmidim of Derech Eitz Chaim, past and future, and to see a number of parents who I've also had relationships with over the years, also past and present, and Mir Tashem future too. And that makes it a very special occasion for me, beyond the fact to be able to come to someone like Noach, who I've been close to for so many years, and the simcha of a Siyum HaShas, which is really just a phenomenal accomplishment. I don't know how many people, I speak to the boys a little more now, but to do something for 10 years, a project for 10 years, is just a phenomenal thing in and of itself, and it's not a simple project, learning Shas. It's not a simple project to make time to learn. It's not a simple project to find the time amongst all the other priorities that a person has in their life to make sure they can get it done. It's just a phenomenal thing. We ended off Shas really with, one more thing I needed. We ended off with, as Noach said, Tanav Eliyahu, Kol Hashana Halachos B'chol Yom, Muftach Lo Shuv Elam Haba. So the basic translation what Noach provided, which is somebody who learns halacha, somebody who's involved in halacha every day, Muftach Lo Shuv Elam Haba, Shneimar Alichos Olam Lo, Al Tikri Alichos Ala Halachos. It's very funny memra, because first off, it's halachos. So anybody who is frustrated with learning Gemara knows that Gemara isn't halacha. Halacha is much more straightforward. Halacha, I get something, I know where I'm coming out of. Certainly, the point of learning Gemara is not halacha. Why would Shas end with that? Secondly, muftach lo shunu v'olam haba. Come on. You tell me every guy that learns Mishnah Berurah, two sif of Mishnah Berurah in the morning after davening, muftach lo shunu v'olam haba. What is that supposed to mean? It's another place where we see a very similar idea, though, which is in the beginning of Parshas Bechukosai. I don't have a chumash, but it's the very beginning, so it's in the laning here. It says like this. Say Bechukosai Teilechu v'mitzvosai tishmoru. So we learn in Bechukosai Teilechu the same lashon of being lech, to walk. Bechukosai are laws, right? They're just, a chok is a law. So Rashi right away says, Im Chukosai can't possibly be referring to Im Chukosai Teilechu means you keep halacha, because it already says it's Mitzvosai Tishmaru. So Rashi says, a chiddush, he brings from Chazal, that it means to amelim b'tar. The truth is that's an amazing chiddush if you think about it, because we never have, it's a mitzvah to learn. You're yotze, your mitzvah to learn, you say Kriya Shema in the morning, you say Kriya Shema at night, you're yotze, your mitzvah to learn. Where's this idea? What do you have to be amil b'tara for? Where does that come from? You have to work in Torah. And it's saying in Bechukosai Teilechu that somehow this halicha that comes from an involvement in chok somehow provides the requirement for an amelus, an involvement, a working. Amel means like to work hard in Torah, and that's somehow a necessity. Why should that be a necessity? Why isn't it an extra credit? Why isn't it? Right, the pasuk says you have to be doing this, otherwise the world falls apart. Essentially, why should that be true? So the Ramban on the Parsha, saying very briefly, brings down from the Sephorah. The Sephorah says that there's a certain secret locked into Parshas Bechukosai. The famous question, my inyan Shemitah Leitz Har Sinai, why does Parshas Bahar, where we talk about the Yom of Shemitah, what do we come here in Bechukosai Teilechu? What do we come to Bahar Sinai? Why do we come now to Parshas Bechukosai? What does one have to do with the other? What are all these sevens? That's what the Sephorah and Ramban asks. What are all the sevens of Parshas Bechukosai when it gets into the Klolos? All these issues of sevens that come if you don't keep Shemitah. He says an interesting idea. He says basically that the Shemitah cycle, which we're in this year, is, right, this year's Shemitah, in the same way that someone who doesn't keep Shabbos is being kofar in the idea that there is a Borei Olam. He's denying the existence of a creator in denying that cycle of a Shabbos. So too, that's the point of the Shemitah cycle. The point of the Shemitah cycle is that you have to see that the world is going somewhere, and it exists within a cyclical balance, and that by not keeping Shemitah, you have ignored the whole idea of the Borei Olam. And that's why it's important to be connected to a Melis B'Torah. What is that supposed to mean? It's a very simple idea. I believe that's the meaning of this Gemara too. The idea of Melis B'Torah is that it's not possible to have a world that we just exist within. To just exist in the world doesn't provide the Bria with anything. If we care and we're conscientious of the fact that there is a Borei Olam, that there is a creator, then what we are mechuyev to do, what we have to do, is be interested in that creation. A Melis B'Torah is a chiyuv because you're a human being existing within a creation. It's not a mitzvah. It's not something which you have to do because it's on a list of things which you have to keep, and if you don't keep it, you're a bad boy. How can a human being exist and not be curious about that environment? How can a Borei Olam go and create and make a Bria, and you have no interest in finding out what it is, what is going on? The Torah is our vessel. It's our way of being able to delve in, to understand, and to try, and to work. And that's what Amelus is, in what it is that the Bria is about, what it is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has done. It's where we develop our relationship by showing interest. And if you don't show interest, everything falls apart. What's the point of it all? The Gemara here ends the same way. What's mean shona halachos? The word shona doesn't really just mean to learn. It's from the same word as shana, to go over. To go over things? What do you have to go over things for? You know it. Once I had a guy in yeshiva many years ago. At the beginning, he told me, I don't have to chazar, I have photographic memory. I said, phew. Chazar is not to remember things. Chazar is that as I go more into things, I delve in and develop a deeper understanding. To be shona halachos, al tikri halichos el halachos, doesn't just mean that the word's wrong in the pasuk. It means what's halachos? Halachos is as I go through the world, as I traverse my life, as I go every single day and develop and see new things. You have to be shona. And if you're shona and you delve into what's going on, then enachinami, you're for sure a ben olam haba. It's not possible for you not to be a ben olam haba because you were interested. If you're interested, you'll be a ben olam haba by definition. A lot of the Masechtas that Noah finished end with a different ending. It ends like this. We say it on Shabbos. Eretz Yisrael, we say it every day. Right? So it says that Amr Lazar Chanina Tamlich Chaim Marbim Shalom Ba'olam Shenemar B'chol Banayach Limudei Hashem V'Rav Shalom Banayach. That Talmidei Chachamim, literally it's translated, increase peace in the world, because the pasuk says V'chol Banayach Limudei Hashem, that all my children, Limudei Hashem, are studies of Hashem V'Rav Shalom Banayach, and the pasuk says there too, Al Tikri Banayach Ela Banayach. Don't read it sons, read it builders. Two questions, simple questions. One is, how do they increase peace? I don't know. A lot of Talmidei Chacham I know do just the opposite. By definition, they stand up for something. If you stand up for something and you mean something, it doesn't make anything much more peaceful necessarily. And second off, what is wrong with being called the son of God? I think that's a pretty good description. I'd like to be called a banayach. I have to call it bonayach. I have to be a builder. Somehow that's better than being a ben. I think it's the same idea. We say, end of Kaddish, to say, Osa Shalom Bimroma, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes Shalom Bimroma, but he's making peace. The angels are fighting. There's something going on in the Meromim, in the Shamayim that he has to. It's not what Shalom means. Because I live in Israel, we know that shalom has nothing to do with peace. What shalom is from the word shalom, from the word of shleimus. That things are complete, things are in their place. Talmidei Chachamim are the ones who are making things in their place. And what's the difference between being a ben and being a bona? The difference between being a ben, it's wonderful to have a relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu as a ben. But that you're sharing with him in that way makes you a builder with him. Makes you a builder with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that's the most unbelievable madrega that a person can possibly have. Some guys go to a yeshiva, and they're a ben. It says they're talmidim or your banim. And some guys go to yeshiva and are the bonim. Right? Noach is one of the guys, when he came to yeshiva, wasn't just from the banim, he wasn't just from the people that sat and learned. He was there for 3 years. It wasn't 10 years ago. He stayed with 10, 9, and 8. And he came back, he was involved, and he sat and learned. And not only did he sit and learn for himself, but he was one of the bonayach. He was one of the people that built the yeshiva. And the gain that one gains by being a builder, not just a passive participant, is indescribable. And I believe it gives people the koach to finish HaShas, to have siyat d'shmaya, to build a life. And that's the truth. That's what Noach does here in Miami Beach too. He's not from the passive participants in the community. He's someone who's from the bonim. He's someone who's involved in building things, involved in building people, in building the youth, and building people who are far away from Yiddishkeit. And that creates a different relationship with Torah, creates a different relationship with oneself and Torah. And it's tremendous simcha, and I think the bracha I want to give is the bracha that I think every single person in this room wants to give, that in the same way our Chassan HaTorah today was bona and has been accomplished tremendous, unbelievable thing. We've had a tremendous simcha. You should be zocha soon to be a chassan, real chassan. And to be bona, real bias. And we should see great things. It's not every day that someone's finished HaShas, and we should see unbelievable things from Noach in the future.